Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll continue with our book reading this morning. Toyota Way to Service Excellence by Jeffrey K. Leica and Karen Ross. We continue from where we stopped yesterday. Yesterday on page 366, we looked at Principle 6 and Principle 7. Principle 6 says stabilize and continually adopt work pattern. Principle 7 says manage visually to see actual versus standard. Today on page 370, we'll continue from there, looking at Principle 8. Principle 8 says, Principle 8 says building quality at each step. And Principle 9 says use technology to enable people. Use technology to enable people. Okay, a few weeks ago, during the weekly partner meeting, Joe said, I think that we need to talk about Jidoka. Jidoka, said Todd with a puzzled look on his face. What's Jidoka? Now, perhaps you wouldn't think that taxi drivers would be using terms like Jidoka. However, as Joe explained, the idea of Jidoka is really simple. We have to have a way for all our drivers to recognize the problem right away and tell us about it so we can figure out what we want, what went wrong, and how to fix it before it happens again. If we don't do that, our flow is going to stop. I don't know, said Todd. Seems to me that if we stop driving to report a problem, then that is what is going to stop our flow. We are not a manufacturing company. We can't just stop the lines in the middle of driving down the highway. You are both right, I said. Then I explained to them that when a problem is dictated on the line at Toyota and a team member pulls the handle cord, the whole line doesn't immediately come to a stop. What happens is that the team leader rushes over to see what the problem is and works to understand the cause and contain it immediately, so the production line doesn't have to stop. How do you think that we could do something like that while safely driving customers? I asked. After thinking for a while, Todd, Ken, and Joe came up with a plan. Since on-time pickup is the most important for our customers, let's find a way to figure out what is preventing us picking up customers on time. First, suggested Ken. Good idea, said Joe. If drivers are using the app correctly, as soon as they pick up a customer, whoever is dispatching should be able to see the time in the system. As long as the dispatch is monitoring the rides as he should be able to see right away if there's a problem or not. Joe continued. Then whoever is dispatching can contact the driver and ask why the pickup was late after the ride is dropped off. That way, we don't have to have people stop driving or use their cell phone to text or answer the call in the car. Then we could discuss what happened during our next huddle in the day so we can make sure the problem is fixed for that day. What if we also create a problem log for later rides? Asked Ken. Then we could collect all the data about the late rides and the reasons why for the week. We could review the data during our weekly partner meeting and figure out what to try next week to prevent those problems from happening again. And we will know what we need to work on in our standard work too, said Joe. When we can see the problem, we'll be able to fix them and get better at preventing them from ever happening in the first place. As Joe, Ken, and Todd have found out, If the customer experience is your top priority, with a little creativity, it is always possible to find a way to build quality in each step. Principle 9 says use technology to enable people. Since Uber came on the scene, everyone expects a taxi company to have an app, said Joe. Problem is, many of our driver partners aren't comfortable using all that technology as they just haven't used it before. A customer wants it though, and it's a great way for us to keep track of our regular ride. So it's really important that we get everyone used to it and using it regularly. Like many other companies in this day and age, NTL is finding that it is very important to consider the effect of all choices about technology, both for customers and for those working in the business. To make sure that NLT technology is enabling both customers and drivers, Joe and the team have a process for testing each piece of technology with a select group of customers and driver partners. All information on the website is available on a single page, so customers don't have to click through many screens to book a ride. After gathering a feedback from a number of customers who used the website, changes were made in how the booking screen worked. In addition, any changes made to the customer interface of the app are tested with a select set of customers, and changes to the driver interface are tested. If the functionality of the app doesn't support NTL's challenge statement of working together, then it's back to the drawing board. We control what technology does for our customers and our company, says Joe. The technology works for us, not the other way round. So this is what we'll stop for our reading this morning, talking about building inequality at each step. And how do you build inequality at each step? From this passage we just read, it's all about finding and identifying problems and fixing them immediately these problems are noticed. That is what it simply means by building inequality at each step, or how you can build inequality at each step. Finding and identifying problems and fixing them immediately will help building quality at each step. Then principle 9 says use technology to enable people. Like he said in the last paragraph here, he said we control what technology does for our customers and our company. So the technology works for us, not the other way around. If you could remember when we were critically talking or reading on technology to enable people, who remember what it says here, that you use technology to enable people. Technology is meant to help people in an organization, in a workplace, to make work better, easier, and faster, not taking over humans, or do human work. Rather, it helps to make the work faster, better, and easier. So that's a brief summary of the places we just read them this morning. So this is your stuff for reading this morning. Thank you.